Okay guys, so we're going to be talking about how to solve algebraic equations. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to look at this scale. So if you look at this scale, on the left side here I have 3 pennies and 1 x. And in this case x represents a certain amount that I don't know. And on the other side of the scale I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. Right now if we look, my scale is balanced. So to figure out what x is, I need to do the same thing on both sides of my scale. So let's say I want to know what x is. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove 1 penny. Now if I take off that penny, everybody knows that this side is going to be lighter, so it's going to go up, and this side is going to be heavier, so it's going to go down. So I need to make sure that my scale stays balanced. So to do that, I'm going to take away a penny on this side. So now my scale is back to being balanced. But I still don't know what x is because I haven't isolated. I only want to have x on this side of the scale because that way I'll know how much x is equal to. So I'll take away another penny and I'm going to have the same problem. This side is going to be too light, this side is going to be too heavy, and I need my scale to be balanced. So I'm going to take away a penny on this side. Now I have my scale balanced again, but I still have the same problem because I still have x and a penny and the same amount over, the same amount over here. So I need to get this x alone. So I'm going to take away the last penny, and my scale, this side is going to go up, this side is going to go down, so I'm going to take away the other penny. And what that leaves me with is I'm left with x, my unknown, is equal to 3 pennies. So how would that look if we were actually solving it algebraically? Well, we just said I have 1x and, so plus 3 pennies. And we said that was equal to 6 pennies, right? I want to get x by itself, so I need to have 0 pennies on this side. Well, if I have 3 pennies on this side and I want to have 0 pennies, I need to subtract 3 pennies, which will give me 0 and leave me with just x. But if I subtract 3 pennies on this side, my scale won't be balanced, so I have to subtract 3 pennies on the other side. 6 minus 3 gives me 3. That tells me my x is equal to 3, and I can check to make sure that makes sense, because we just said that my x, so the number that I don't know, plus 3 should equal 6. Well, if we look, we said x was equal to 3, so if I write down 3 instead of my x, plus the 3 that we have, I get 6. I know that 3 is the right answer for x. So let's look at another example, one that's a little bit tougher. So on this side, I have 3 unknowns. So I have 1, 2, 3 x's. So 3 variables that I don't know what they are, and 4 pennies. And on this side, I have 4, 8, 12, 16 pennies. So again, I need to do the same thing on both sides of my scale, right? So if you look, I can go and say, alright, I need to make 0 pennies on this side. So I'm going to delete all, or subtract my 4 pennies. So if I subtract 4 pennies on this side, and I subtract 4 pennies on this side, my scale should be balanced. But that means I have 3 x's and 12 pennies. So I need to know what 1 x is. So if I have 3 and I want to know what 1 x, I need to know what 1/3 of these x's are. So 1/3 of these, so if I just sort of say, alright, I need to know what 1/3 is, I take away a third, and if you look here, I have 4 over 12, which is the same thing as a third. So if I take away 4 pennies here, and like I just said, reduce it by a third, that means 1x should be equal to 4 pennies. Now, let's just sort of look at that algebraically. So let's bring everything back. So, if you guys look, and we write this as an algebraic problem, I have, sort of lower this so I have a little more space, I have 1, 2, 3 x's on this side of my scale, and, so plus 4 pennies. And on the other side, I have 4, 8, 12, 16 pennies. So I got rid of 4 pennies on this side, so I subtracted 4, which left me with 0, so all I have left on this side is 3 x's. But if I just subtract 4 pennies on this side is going to be too light, this side is going to be too heavy. I need to keep them balanced. So I'm going to subtract 4 pennies on this side, which is going to leave me with 3x being equal to 12. Now again, I need to know what 1x is. So how many pennies for 1x? So if I look at this, 1 out of 3 x's will give me 1x. So if I multiply, or do the reciprocal, of 1 over 3x, I will know what 1x is. But like we just saw, whatever I do to one side of the scale, I have to do to the other. So I have to do the same thing. So on this side, I'm reducing by a third. On this side, I'm doing the same thing by a third. So if I look, 1 divided by 1 will give me 1. 3 divided by 3 will give me 1, which will leave me with 1x. And the same side, on the other side, if I go 1 divided by 1 will give me 1. 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. So my 1x should be equal to 4. And I can test that out. If I rewrite my problem as 3 times 4 plus 4, I should get 16. Well, we know that 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 4 is 16. I know that my answer is correct. I know that x is equal to 4. We're going to look at one more without the scale to help us out. So this is an algebraic problem. I have 9x minus 5 is equal to 22. So I need to have, just like we said, I need to have 1x on this side. Right now I have minus 5. I need to make this minus 5 equal 0. So I have to do the opposite of minus 5. So if I add 5, I'm going to be left with 0 and 9x on this side. But if I just add 5 on this side to get 0, this side is going to be too heavy, so I need to create balance. So I have to add 5 on the other side of my equation, which means I'll have 27. Now again, I need to know what 1 out of 9 x's is. So what I do is I multiply by 1 out of 9 x's. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Well, 1 divided by 1 is 1, and 9 divided by 9 is 1, which leaves me with 1x. And 1 divided by 1 is 1, and 27 divided by 9 will give me 3. Now again, I can check my answer. If I test it out by going, well, 9 times 3 minus 5 should give me 22. Well, 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 minus 5 is 22. I know now that my x is actually equal to 3 because I got the right answer. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys and helps you understand how to solve equations. And I'll see you guys next class. Take care. See ya.